donuts cut out on a similar kind of machine?
I think a donut is press. I'm not a donut presser, but I think they're actually, it's almost like a press. There's a machine that kind of, like, it popping out the dough is extruded out through a former.
So what this is doing is turning it into a coil, and
this actually simulates the old handmade process, because when bagels were made by hand, what they did was they made strips. They would put the strips on the bench, and then they would wind the bagel around their finger and cleave it to the bench to complete the circle.
Wow.
This machine actually does pretty much that same.
It has a very handmade look.
Yeah,
and it is very hands-on. This is not something you can walk away from.
We've been in business for 54 years. During that time, we went from a hand product to a bagel machine, but it wasn't that easy, because when the first bagel machine that they tried was similar to what you talked about, the donuts. It was a press, and these circles pressed out a slab of dough and made circles. But when you baked the bagel, they were like cement circles. Normally you don't have to do that. The reason is because they're small bagels, so they have to be pushed through the machine. Normally it does that by itself.
Okay, so yeah, it's not an important part.
The only part is that you saw the pieces coming down, right? Yeah, that's all. So again, that first machine that they invested money in just didn't work, and then this edition of bagel machines came out. There are different kinds, but pretty much it's the same. The formers, where you see the circles being made, are pretty much all the same. The dividers are different. This machine is an older machine, has a different divider. There's the newer versions have what's called a rotative knife, where the dough moves through the machine a little faster. You have to cut strips. However, in my opinion, the old machine makes a better bagel, because as we put that bagel, the bagel dough in that gray hopper, the dough is being kneaded a little bit, and the other machine is just kind of flying through. So even though we use them both, I still prefer the old machine. The one we're using here could be over 20, 25, 30 years old.
And how do you keep it service?
The gentleman you saw over there, we have parts. He's very good.
But don't you have trouble getting parts? Or are there still parts manufactured?
There's still parts available. We're going to get to a point, though, in some of these machines, you're almost having to scavenge. Of course, the newer machines their parts are plentiful. We will probably come to a point where these machines will become obsolete, and we'll have to go to that newer rotative knife machine, which is, I mean, to the consumer, it's not that big a deal.
Will that require as much hand contact? Because I love that this
probably
dough
not.
that we're making here has been in touch with so many people's hands. It's huge.
In other bakeries, and of course, listen, they're very successful, but it's really untouched by human hands. It goes in, the ingredients go in one end, and the bagels come out the other. But it's much more commercial, and here, I mean, some of the hand action is just, there are machines that basically place the bagel onto a board and all that, but it's very commercial, and we're still doing it this way. And like you say, I mean, I've never really thought of it until you mentioned it, but there's a lot of the dough is touched by hands going through our process a few times. It's not just all machines.